Test. I think it's on. Hi everyone, welcome to my first Q&A. I'm just excited to share more about myself, bring you guys more into my life, and answer some of the questions you may have had. So on NGL, that's the app that I use for those who wanted to like stay unknown, be incognito. I love that word. We'll just go in order to the ones I received. How is fitness after childbirth? How did you balance being a mom and a competitor? Okay, so I got pregnant in 2016. I had my son, and then in 2018, I had my daughter. I didn't really start going to the gym until after my daughter. And the reason why is because during that pregnancy, I was extremely sick. I couldn't eat. I was always in the ER getting IVs just to have any type of nutrition. And I ended up getting my gallbladder removed when I was 7 months pregnant. I was the second person in that whole entire Navy hospital to ever get their gallbladder removed pregnant. And when I finally got that removed, I was able to eat again, but I only delivered at like 120, which is barely gaining any weight. I actually lost weight during that pregnancy because I was so sick. And when I delivered, I just felt so weak and tiny. And also too, I didn't feel confident in my body. You know, I felt just didn't want to go out much, didn't want to do anything, and just very insecure, I'll be honest. So I was actually seeing a therapist at that time, and she was the one who kind of like pushed me to go to the gym on base, on the military base. And when I would like enter the gym, I wouldn't even be around the weights. I would just kind of go to the like yoga room, go to the back room and just like do some abs, some kickbacks, like just stuff that I've seen on social media. And then I kind of got the courage to go to the machines and do like cardio. So I would just be like a cardio bunny, and just watch people kind of lift weights and get onto machines. I did not know how to use anything. I was so embarrassed. And then I started going to this one room where it would be like completely empty and they just had like a pulley. So I would just stay there and do a whole bunch of pulleys and stuff. And I slowly started to get into it because going to the gym is kind of what brought me confidence back. And I just remember like loving how I felt afterwards. You know, I would go to the gym on bad days and I would leave and my day just got a little bit better because I did something for myself. So to answer that question, it wasn't just like awesome. It was a very slow transaction, getting really into the gym, really into fitness. And it started slow. It started honestly with just slowly doing it, stepping into the gym, staying there. And then how am I balancing being a mom and a competitor? So I will say it's not easy, but I'm a like planner. I'm super just strict on my plans, on my routine. All of my food is made in the morning. And to me, that sets the precedence for the rest of the day for myself. So I don't have to worry about my food, what I'm going to eat. I already have my meal plan for the rest of the day. So I just have to kind of worry about my kid's breakfast, his lunch is made the night before, and then his dinner. So very planned on like my meals. And then I also go to the gym in the morning while he's in school. So I have the privilege of being able to do that because of my job schedule. So I'll go in the morning and that's going to be my time, like me time. And then the rest of the day I'm able to pour into other cup, take him to jiu-jitsu and just be more involved because I feel like I gave to myself. So now I'm able to kind of give more to him and to her, which brings me to my next question. How come I don't really post my daughter as much? So my daughter actually lives with her dad full time. She's coming in a few weeks, so she's going to be spending the summer here. And it works for us. we're such great co-parents. We have our own system that works best for us, and it works. One thing I love about my exes and I relationship is, yes, they're the same baby daddy, is that we're able to call each other, talk to each other. We've never gotten the courts involved. It's just like, hey, we didn't work out, and that's okay, but let's put the kids first, right? The kids are always first. So we have great communication. We're always, pre-planning the events, when she's going to come here, he's going to go there. And that's just the most important thing, is making sure that the kids are in a safe, supportive environment, and they're always being first regardless. So where was I took screenshots of them because my story, it ends after 24 hours. So I wanted to not miss any. Do you have any fun plans for your off season? Grow. Just grow. I want to grow and eat. Right now I'm like in this gut health phase. So we're doing this for maybe 4 or 5 more weeks. I'm actually going to be doing a video with Adam going through my whole entire results from my gut protocol and what we're doing, why. So that's going to be a fun video. I actually want to, at the end of the year, I think we're going to go to Europe, which will be fun, and Japan, because Stan, that's his goal, to kind of grow and prep into those shows. So that would be amazing to go experience that and travel there. I just want to go back to Japan so bad. So hopefully we're able to do that, but it's not for certain yet. When did you start your journey, and how long it took to see the transformation? Ooh, it's a great question. So I kind of talked about this earlier, where I started just going to the gym slowly. There was this girl at my gym, and I just loved her shape, and she had great muscles. I had like nothing. And I went up to her and I'm like, you look great. Like, what do you do? And she's like, oh, I compete. And I'm like, compete? Like, what's that? And she kind of showed me on her phone what she did. And I'm like, wow, you look amazing. I want to do that. And ever since then, when I say I'm going to do something, I'll do it. And I just remember going home that night, put the kids to sleep, and I got my laptop. I went on YouTube, typed in Bikini Olympians, and I had my heels. I didn't even have my like posing heels. I just had like some club heels that I would wear. And I was just practicing the poses in my room, listening to the music and trying to go with their flow. And I was probably up for 3 hours. I'm not even joking, because I fell in love with their confidence, something that I didn't have at that time. And I wanted to be like that. I don't think I had a lot of muscle. When I look back, I was just like a string bean. I was so tiny for my first prep. And then I did I do Excalibur? Yeah, I did Excalibur after that. So 6 months later, I did notice growth going into my first show to my second show. Except my glutes. That was like the one thing I didn't. And what helped me grow, because my shoulders grew tremendously, is I started working with Andy at Fit Club on the newbie. He would put the newbies on my shoulders, and I would train with him at least once a week. And we would just hit shoulders and shoulders and shoulders. And when I saw that transformation of my shoulders, my glutes still weren't the greatest, but I was like, wow, I need to put them on my glutes. And then that's kind of when I started dating Stan, and he had newbie, and it kind of worked out. We put him on my glutes, because I think that helped me in the sense of finding my muscle connection. When I would train my legs, my quads would be so sore, and I would just say, I'm quad dominant. That would be my excuse. I can't grow my glutes. I just don't have those genetics. But the truth was, I didn't know how to activate my glute muscles. I didn't know how to work out properly. I had no mind muscle connection. So the newbie just helped me have mind muscle connection with my glutes because it stimulates your glutes the whole entire time. And, you know, Stan was a huge reason why I learned how to train properly. And something that I just focus on now is when I'm training, I'm making sure that I'm in that lengthened position for my glutes. So I'm really stretching my glutes when I'm doing workouts, and then like kind of squeezing them. And so I learned how to feel my muscles with the newbie and with proper training. So that's what helped me so much just build, is learning how to train properly and not being so concerned about ego lifting or the weight. Because I used to just put a whole bunch of weight and then push it out, and then my quads would be sore. And I'm like, I was trying to hit glutes. So I learned how to isolate my muscles, and actually I go lighter weight. So the lighter I go, the more of the isolation I'm able to have, and less other body parts are going to start chiming in. So I'm a huge advocate, and that works for me. I'm not saying like this is the right way. I'm just saying this is what helped me grow my glutes, helped me focus, was lighter weights, more isolation, mind muscle connection, and then focusing more on being in that lengthened, you know, stretch position of the muscle I'm trying to target. That was a long answer for a short question. Someone said, I'm struggling to build my glutes. Oh, that's the one I just answered. Any suggestions or tips? My tips would be probably go lighter to really isolate, making sure that you're isolating. Go in the stretched, lengthened position of that exercise. Maybe stay in it for a little bit and then squeeze your glutes. Your glutes should be the driving factor in glute workouts. And then the second one is nutrition. You can't grow if you're in an extreme deficit for so long. You might be catabolic and lose muscle. So I would recommend, you know, eating high protein and high carbs. Your muscles need glycogen, carbs. So the more you're going to feed your muscles, the more they're going to grow. Last thing, I keep saying last thing, is I don't know if you guys ever seen my stories, but I'm getting body work 3 times a week, and I always make sure I'm getting it right before a newbie session on Fridays. The reason being is because you can't grow when you have, well, maybe you can, but not as much when you have restrictions. So I like to make sure there's no restrictions on my glutes. There's no tight knots, tight muscles. So he's really working on that, making sure there's no restriction so blood flows. And the more blood flows, the bigger pump, maximum growth. So I'm a huge believer on body work to kind of help growing. I've noticed the most growth within the last 2 years, I want to say. And that's because of the body work, being consistent with it, you know, mind muscle connection, and just learning more about my body. Next question. Did you have a posing coach, and how often did you work with them? When I first started, like right when I met with talked on the phone with my first coach ever, I knew I needed a posing coach. I didn't want to try myself because I wanted to learn it the right way first, and then I would tweak it and stuff. So from the get-go, I had a posing coach, and then once I moved to Vegas, I would kind of bounce around with different posing coaches. And with Fit Model, for the first, I think I met with her 2 or 3 times with Stacey Alexander, because she competed when Bikini first came out. So she kind of knew that Fit Model, old school look that they were going for. So I worked with her. And then just after feedback, I made adjustments. I learned what works for me. I learned the stretches, how to hit the poses. So I want to say that I definitely got a push with getting a coach, trying to do things the right way, and then just adjusting over time. But when I was doing Bikini, I would work with a posing coach at least once a month. And then as I got closer to show, it would go to 1 to 2 times a week because I really wanted to nail my posing, because I know that just plays such an important role. You can have a better body, but if you don't know how to show it, then the judges aren't going to choose you. So I definitely wanted to present myself in a confident way by having a posing coach. What is your ethnicity? So I'm a big mix. I don't think I've ever met anyone with my mix yet. So if you're out there, say hi. I'm half Nicaraguan, half Salvadorian, and half Spaniard. So I'm just like a mutt of all these Central American things, which is pretty awesome. And it's funny because my grandma has like green colored eyes and my mom doesn't, but then I have more of those hazel eyes. And then my great grandpa, he was from Spain and he had those like deep blue eyes, blonde hair. So I was born blonde, fun fact. And then my hair just gradually got darker as I got older. What are your plans for Fit Model since you are a pro now? I think my plans for Fit Model is to continue supporting it. I mean, there's not much I can do now. There's no shows, but I can contribute and give while we're just waiting for shows. So my plan right now is to go to shows, support other fit models. As far as like my intrinsic plans is like my plans alone. Definitely keep growing. You know, I'm obviously not on gear or anything, so I don't have to worry about getting too big. I just gonna keep growing. What are your thoughts on the new IFBB Fit Model Pros? Ooh, good question. I think that they can only judge who shows, and the selection of girls that they're choosing and who are winning their classes, it's spot on. You know, I feel like they have the best polished, poised look on stage. They have great muscles. I do think over time it's going to get bigger and leaner. But you can only get so lean because in the criteria it says no visible tie-ins. I think I love the selection of girls. I truly think they're beautiful. They each have their own spice, jazz, and this is only like the first batch of girls. There's going to be so many more because we have USA's coming up and then nationals and then the first pro show. So I think it's still the beginning, but I'm loving these girls who are turning pros. They look fabulous, you know, and I already know I'm going to be sharing the stage with a lot of them. So it's exciting. Next year is going to be just fireworks with all these shows and really seeing that fit model division bloom. All right, so last question I'm going to answer, because if not, this video will be so long. Why don't I post my kids more on social media? She was like, I had no idea you had kids. So why don't I post my kids on social media? I've gotten this a lot. And the reason being is I'm in the mental health field. I work with a lot of kids, and I've heard a lot of stories where I don't want to blast them all over social media, especially having a public page. I'll post every once in a while, like the side of his face or like the back of their heads and stuff, but just blasting them all over social media, I think they're too young. I want them to be able to make that choice for themselves when they're older and have their own phones when they're like 16. Right now, they're still so young, and I'm a protective mama. I want to make sure that, and I'm not always with him, you know, I'm not a home mom. I work, I'm always doing things on the go, and I just want to always put them first, being safe, and just, they have their own Instagram, for family and very close friends to follow, but I'm not going to blast their stuff all over a public social media because I don't know every single person who's following me and their intentions, and it's just, I'd always rather be on the safer side. Just for now, but when they're older, like 13, 14, 15, I'll definitely, with their consent, they're older, and if they say, Mom, you can put me on, absolutely, I'll be blasting them like crazy. They're able to fight for themselves, but being so young, they're still so fragile, and I want them to make that decision. I don't want to make it for them. Thank you all, like truly, this was so exciting. I hope I was able to give some insight onto my life, what works for me, and bring you guys along. I plan to stay consistent with YouTube, constantly just bring you guys in my days to day, and sometimes they're boring, and I'm sorry, but I'm trying to have some spice. So tomorrow I'll be doing a vlog going to the lake, and just a vlog of like spending time with my family, how I'm gonna manage my meals and stuff. So bring you guys along more exciting days, because I don't want to just keep doing gym and glutes and food. I want to bring you guys along the days where I'm around a whole bunch of temptation, or I'm with family, I'm with friends, I'm doing other things besides working and gymming, because I think there's so much more to me, and that's why I started YouTube, to bring you guys along and to get more connections with you guys. But thank you for following, for asking these questions. I'm going to be doing this again in the future, so make sure to follow along and contribute to this Q&A next time. But I will see you guys on the next one, and have an amazing rest of your week. Bye.